Dresden, Germany. In the archives of the Saxon State Library lies an ancient manuscript known as the Dresden Codex. Dated to around the 11th century AD, the Dresden Codex is the oldest and best preserved writing of the Maya, a civilization which ruled Mesoamerica for more than 3,000 years. And curiously, the pages of this text contain a remarkable connection to the planet Venus.
The Maya worshipped Venus, and it appears that they put Venus as the cornerstone of their faith and also their civilization. And when scientists looked at the Dresden Codex, they found what we now call the Venus Table, which is able to predict the position of Venus to very high accuracy. In fact, they kept some of the most accurate records in all of human history before the advent of modern astronomy.
The observations of Venus by the Mayans shows that actually Venus has been incredibly important throughout human history. And the tracking of Venus's motion has been something that people have paid attention to for a long time.
It's astonishing to think that ancient people were just as fascinated by the movement of Venus as modern astronomers. But technology has made tracking the planet much easier and revealed some curious aspects of Venus's motion. In 1962, at NASA's Deep Space Instrumentation Facility located in the Mojave Desert, experts discovered something about the rotation of Venus that no one had ever noticed before. It actually spins backwards.
Most of the planets in the solar system are spinning in the same direction, but Venus is spinning in the opposite direction. It's spinning backwards compared to Earth's spin axis.
Venus spins in retrograde. You can think of that as Venus spinning backwards, or you can think of that as Venus having been flipped upside down. But however you think about it, what it means is that Venus's spin is a big mystery.
Is Venus flipped upside down? It's an extraordinary notion. And it makes you wonder what it would be like to live on a planet that spins backwards.
For everything Venus has in common with the Earth, from its size and its mass, it has some things that are really different from the Earth also. If you were on Venus, or if Earth was doing what Venus did, the sun would actually rise in the west and set in the east. So it would generally be a bizarre experience.
Curiously, Venus's backward spin isn't the strangest aspect of its movement, because not only is Venus turning in the opposite direction, it also spins so slowly that it's hardly rotating at all.
Venus spins incredibly slowly compared to Earth. We know that Earth takes 24 hours to spin once on its axis. In comparison, if you were living on the surface of Venus, it would take 243 days to spin once around on Venus.
Venus rotates once every 243 days, but it takes 225 days to orbit the Sun, which means it takes longer to rotate than it does to orbit the Sun. Its day is longer than its year. That makes it different to almost everything else that we observe within the solar system.
Scientists are still trying to learn more about Venus's unusual spin. And some have asked, what would happen if Earth rotated at such a slow pace? Experts theorize that the results would be nothing short of catastrophic.
If the Earth had a really slow spin, we would have sections of the population that would have to live entirely in darkness for a large section of the year. The rest on the lit side of the planet would be scorched mercilessly.
Having one side of the planet be so much hotter than the other would mean there are torrential winds that would be blown from the hot side and sucked onto the cold side. You'd have cyclones and massive storms at the transition zones. It would be a really unfriendly place.